All right. Well, welcome everyone. It is July 15th, and this is our quarterly Healthy You Network touch base. Great to see some of you here today. Um, we've got, I would say, a pretty modest agenda. I'll probably be letting you guys out a few minutes early, but some fun things to talk about across the board, and then some open time for discussion and whatnot. So let's dive into it. For today, we've got some introductions. You likely seeing a few new faces on the call already, and we'll talk about some new folks in our network. Give you a brief overview of workshops, what's happened the last couple months, what do some of you have planned for the future. We're going to do a quick touch point on cancer, thriving and surviving. um, give you an update on our next Healthy You Leader training, which is coming up before you know it in fall. Some opportunities to do cancer and also diabetic program cross trainings. And then as a reminder, our next meeting is going to be on Tuesday, October 21st at 10. We meet on the third Tuesday of every quarter at 10 a.m. So that is what we're looking at. To start things off, if you could indulge me in the chat, go ahead and drop your name and also your organization if you're doing Healthy You associated with your organization. And if it's not immediately clear to the rest of us, it's also fine just to put in your town or your county so that we have an idea regionally who is nearby to one another. So I'll give you folks a moment to do that if you would. And I'll get ready to show you the next thing that we're working with here. Great. Wonderful, wonderful. And as we go along, if you're not familiar, if this is your first time attending one of these calls, the primary purpose here is to give us all an opportunity to network with one another, to meet other WICOA staff like the regional coordinators and Catherine who are on the call that have a wealth of knowledge about these programs and also referral networks and all of the happenings all across Wyoming. So by all means, if you see someone that's in your neck of the woods that's doing something interesting or relevant to you or to Healthy You as it relates to you, by all means, make sure you're reaching out with them and making those connections. It's a great little segue. I'd love to talk about a few of our fantastic new Healthy You leaders that have been trained in this last quarter. Starting at the bottom, actually, Angela Phillips and Kelly Page, both from Weston County Public Health Services, were intrepid virtually trained leaders. They both completed a SMRC sponsored CDSMP leader training. What was it? Towards the end of May, middle of May, I believe. Um, and they're very excited to get going with doing workshops in their area. Everyone above those 10 above Angela and Kelly, all just completed, was it really only last week? Maybe it was the week before, a virtual leader training with myself and Lisa to be our newest cohort of trained leaders. So in Converse, we've got Rebecca Russell with Converse County Public Health, a few more Fremont County facilitators, Stephanie with the Lander Free Clinic, Donna, who does some work with Eastern Shoshone Tribal Health and is also independent leader. Lori is out in Guernsey, Mariah and Sandy with Platte County Public Health. Chris Ingersoll joins the Hub on Smith's team. They're excited to be doing some workshops coming up here soon too. we have Larissa Bonnet with UW's Extension Education program. Afton Smith, she's out in Sweetwater County, Farson area as an independent facilitator. And then Margaret Kibler, very excited, is joining the St. John's Health Team, which St. John's has been doing stuff with us since the beginning. So these are some new and fantastic leaders, most of whom are really excited to already hit the ground running and get their first workshops scheduled you know, and on the books.
Hey, Larry,
Yeah, go
Larry,
ahead, Kevin.
yeah, all these are just the regular CDSMP training. These are the overall training. Did any of them take the cross training? Did you add it to any of these?
No, we have not done like a follow-up CTS or DSMP cross training, but I would say close to the majority of these folks are interested in one or both of those programs. So we are going to chat a little bit later about getting one of those on the books, but we are certainly going to do that because there's some really interested folks, especially in the DSMP and a few for the CTS as well.
Good.
Yeah. All right, real briefly, this last quarter was very DSMP heavy. We had 4 diabetes workshops, 2 of them in Evanston, one at the State Hospital and the other at the Uinta Senior Center. One at the Teton Free Clinic, which was actually delivered in Spanish, which is a bit of a first for us and really fantastic. Excited to have that done. And then also one at the Wyoming State Museum here regionally, this corner of the state in Cheyenne. So some fantastic DSMP workshops that got done this last quarter. Looking ahead to the future, so many of you, both on this call and those that couldn't be with us today, are looking to plan some fantastic fall workshops. Fall is, as long as you're able to dance around the holidays a little bit, fall is really a fantastic time to be doing healthy workshops. We see a big uptick during that time of year. The scheduling is generally pretty easy for our participants. And for a lot of our facilitators, things are getting busy, but they're not quite as busy as they can be throughout the late holiday season and the new year and the winter. So today actually begins a DSMP at the Diabetes Modular with Wind River Cares. Really excited to have those guys off the ground and hear the results of that first workshop when it's done. The Cheyenne Senior Center, which is a brand new facility that opened, I think it was just maybe within the last 2 weeks, maybe not much more than that, is getting a CDSMP workshop started beginning of August. Wind River Cares again at Northern Arapaho Tribal Housing. JT, I see you're on the call, but I think we're looking at a mid to late August, like a August 21st tentative start date is what we're looking at. So really excited for those folks. Some of our newest facilitators have already got a workshop on the books, another CDSMP workshop at Banner Platte Memorial Hospital, looking at that September 3rd as a very likely, but still not 100% locked in start date for that. And I know that the Hub on Smith is looking to do their fall workshop to begin early October. So I think we're looking to get that on the books too. I in part ran out of room on this page. I know there's a few other folks that are really looking for are really looking to get some additional workshops on the books and are dancing around with a couple other dates and seasons. So keep an eye out for those when they come out. If you are, regionally close to any of these locations and you'd like a stack of flyers or even just, the electronic PDFs, we'll be sure to send those out because, as always, we'd love a hand in spreading the news and getting workshops filled. Let's see here. I see a message in the chat from Kevin. Who are the coaches for the DSMP in Athene? It's going to be Blaine Oldman and Angelique Oh gosh, JT, help me out. What's Angelique's last name?
Weed is her last name.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. Are going to be facilitating that one. So
Hey, JT, are these folks that are work with you?
Yes, and we've got we've been trying to get this schedule, this calendar hammered out for a while. We're looking at doing our session 0 on the 24th of July, and it'll be in August before we start up with the actual session 1, 2, etc. But yeah, Blaine and Angelique and I are going to rotate in, so we've always got at least 2 facilitators there. I'm excited about it. We're finally going to get it going here.
Excellent. Excellent.
JT, you're kind of the newest member of that team in regards to Healthy You, but you're joining some great talent, some folks that have been doing these workshops for a while, even if they've had to take some breaks and whatnot over the years. So some great co-facilitators you've got there to work on these programs with. I also see in the chat, Crystal, kicking out, yeah, you guys are moving into a new building, which to be perfectly honest, that wasn't even on my radar. So congratulations. I'm sure that's a big, just across the board change for you guys and a lot of work. When does you guys have a target date in October to be into the new building? Gotcha. Fun. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. And like I said, to be honest, didn't know you guys were moving, so that's great to know. And that'd be lovely. We'd love to have another Spanish CDSMP workshop in Cheyenne. All indications from your last one were that it was fantastic. So I'd love to hear how another one goes. All right. Plugging along here, I don't think too much of this will be massively new information for you folks, but just going to take a quick side trip for the Cancer Thriving and Surviving program. As you may or may not know, this is an increased area of focus for us over this coming year. These cancer workshops are at times a little difficult to fill and to find participants for and to get them off the ground. But I will say that they are also some of the most meaningful to our participants. Maybe more so than the DSMPs if possible, maybe more so than the CDSMPs if possible. Our participants that join Cancer Thriving and Surviving workshops are frequently working on really big problems, massive life changes. They're able to provide a huge amount of support to one another to really engage with kind of that core aspects of these self-management programs, problem solving, supporting one another, working on problems together, and then just kind of really being able to use the strengths of the group to help one another. So anybody that's been involved or sat in on a Cancer Thriving and Surviving workshop knows that they're really well received and just a fantastic opportunity for folks when they're able to get into them. As you know, it's the same basic program as the CDSMP, but everything is looked at through the lens of cancer survivorship. Folks that are newly diagnosed are welcome to come. Folks in active treatment are welcome to come. Folks that have been in remission for long periods of time are welcome to come. Friends and family members that are affected by a loved one's diagnosis are welcome to come. Some of those specific topics: fatigue and getting help, managing pain, living with uncertainty, future plans for healthcare. A lot of those fit very well into the CDSMP model. Those are things that we really already talk about. Cancer and body changes, making decisions, specifically in the context of treatments and complementary therapies, and also cancer and relationships are really big topics that we talk about there. Thank you for indulging me in that side stroll. If you or a loved one have a personal experience with cancer, if you'd like to be trained in this program, if you are trained in this program and you'd like to be doing more workshops, please, please, please be reaching out to me and be in touch with that. We would love to, like I said, really be improving our focus in this area, doing more workshops, both virtually, which has been our primary focus over recent years, and also really begin to ramp up and build some in-person programs as well. So if you have knowledge, experience, whether it be personal, professional, or anecdotal in the space, we'd love to have your input and suggestions, and love to have you be a part of growing this program. So please, 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 please don't hesitate to be in communication with that. Fantastic. I think most of you already know we do have our next in-person CDSMP leader training on the books. It's going to be in Laramie this September, the 15th to the 18th, which is Monday through Thursday. We've already got some fantastic folks that are interested and registered in coming, but by all means, please continue to share the news. If you're a healthy leader and you are orphaned, as it were, and you don't have a co-facilitator immediately in your back pocket, think about folks in your professional circles, in your personal circles, in your familial circles that might be interested in co-leading with you. And by all means, invite them to talk to me and to learn more about the program, and we would love to have them. Also be keeping in mind if our workshops need to be put on by a pair of leaders, but having more than two in an area or with an organization can oftentimes make life easier and remove some of the barriers there. Our workshops run once a week for 6 weeks. That can make it challenging to take time off or plan for illnesses or other work obligations and things like that. So if you've got a pair of leaders with your organization and you'd like to get a little depth there and train a third, by all means, we would love to have them trained. We'd love to talk to them. So I'm doing my own tech support today, but as we wrap up, I'll be sure to throw this flyer in the chat here so that you've got it easily here, and it'll go out in our recap email as well. But please, please feel free to share the opportunity with anyone that you think might be interested. I think that brings us to some cross trainings. As we kind of mentioned right at the start, we got some fantastic folks that are interested in the associated programs. So once you are a CDSMP leader, you are eligible to cross train, which is far more painless, far shorter, I should say, than the initial leader training. DSMP and CTS cross trainings, we usually are able to crank them out in right about 3 hours. So it's usually one morning or one afternoon. We do those online. There's some pre-work, some homework that you do ahead of time, and then we complete all of our activities, and then you're cross-trained in any of the other programs. So going out with our recap from this meeting is going to be an availability poll. I'd love to get first a DSMP cross-training scheduled, because it seems like there's the most interest there, but also CTS cross-training scheduled within the next couple of weeks. It'd be great if we could do that before the end of July. So keep an eye out for an availability poll. A lot of you have already communicated to me that you're interested in those programs, but if you haven't, or if you're not sure that you have, I don't mind a second email reaching out to me telling me that you're definitely interested in that. And then of course, we'll send this opportunity out to the whole network too. But by all means, keep in touch with that. Okay, some miscellaneous updates that we've got here too. New website is coming. You've likely at one point or another heard rumblings. Our Healthy U website is housed under the university's content management system. And there's been several updates is what it feels like. It feels like we've been updating more frequently than we than any of us want to. However, the newest iteration of that website is going live at the end of this month. So if you have the Healthy You website bookmarked, but you don't frequent it because you're Healthy You leader and you know what our programs are and there isn't a ton of information relevant to you, keep an eye out for that, especially as our new website launches. A lot of things that we've been working on there, high hopes. First and foremost, well, maybe not first and foremost, but first on our list, some additional tools for facilitators, downloads. We know that you guys have these things buried in your emails and sent from me and whatnot, but it's so lovely to be able to go to a website and pull down your manual if you've lost it, or if you've dropped it in the puddle and you need to print a new page or whatnot. Same thing for our implementation manuals and our marketing kits, and all those fantastic resources that we've had over the years that hopefully all of you have on your desktops or at least buried in your email. Very excited to be able to give you guys a centralized location for those things so that you can always be able to download and pull the most recent stuff off of the web. And then, in addition, really hoping to have an even better experience for our participants, including like a program map where it's easier for folks and visitors to our website to be able to see what workshops are going on where, even if a workshop isn't scheduled, what are some of our locations that routinely do workshops, and can they put their name in the hat for as being interested and joining a wait list for the next time a workshop comes. So exciting things with the website. I want to say the 28th is the actual launch date. It's towards the end of this month. So by August 1, the new website will be live, and we'll be sure to send out a reminder as we get there too. Fantastic. We're kind of coming up towards the end of the critical things that I wanted to give you guys today. In a moment, I'm going to drop a few of those resources that I was just talking about and in the chat, just so that if you've lost them over the years or that they're buried in your email, they're kind of front and center. I know a lot of you folks that are on the call today to either have workshops on the books or you're looking at scheduling stuff imminently. So one of those is our marketing kit, which is, oh, that's silly. Sorry, I sent that directly as opposed to the whole group. There we go. One of those is the marketing kit. The marketing kit fleshes out some of those additional details that are already in your implementation manual. Remember, the goal for all of our marketing materials and all of the implementation manual is really not to give you leaders any additional burdens or obligations and things to do, but rather just provide as many tools that may or may not be useful for you as we're working to fill these workshops. So if you're searching for the words to write an email to that provider down the block, if you'd like a little elevator script that you can keep in your back pocket so that when you bump into folks in the community that you want to talk to, all of those things have been built, have been revised, have been updated over the years, and exist both in the implementation manual and then kind of in expounded form in this marketing kit. Very easy to take all these substantial guides and put them in our back pockets and kind of forget that they're there because they're so robust. But if you have workshops on the horizon, if you're thinking about doing workshops, I'd really encourage you to lean on those. You can save so much time by not reinventing the wheel, but by using those resources that have been made by all of us over the years. In that vein, please, if you haven't already, if you're thinking about scheduling workshops, please be in communication with me about those. I'm here to help in any and all ways possible. So if you're brainstorming about when to start a workshop, if you know that you want to do a workshop during a particular time, but you don't have a venue yet, be in communication with me. Let's work on those things together. I'd love to help you get workshops on the books. And then once they're on the books, we would love to make sure they're successful and help you fill them. without going down that rabbit hole, remember in general, we recommend and encourage about an 8 week or 2 month lead time on workshops, between printing flyers and circulating them amongst referring partners and getting them up in in community haunts and whatnot. We find that give yourself a good 6 weeks to 2 months to do all of that. It's very challenging to schedule workshops in shorter periods of time. So we'd love you, we'd love and encourage you to look at those calendars, look out a little ways, and put something on the books that you know works well for you. As I mentioned at the very start of our call, fall time is a fantastic time to be doing workshops. I'm not just saying that. Anyone that's done workshops during the fall can attest that they tend to be very well attended by more diverse groups of folks. They're not tend to be more accommodating of everyone's schedules. Whereas summertime, this time that we're in right now, it's fantastic that so many of you are able to get workshops going, and everything I've heard has been fantastic. But it can be a little bit more of an uphill battle to convince folks in Wyoming to take, 6 weeks of our 2 months of beautiful weather and sit inside for workshops. So that sentiment begins to change in the fall. When the weather starts to turn, folks are interested in focusing on themselves, reconnecting with their communities in different ways, and workshops tend to be fantastic. So September, October, November time, if you're on the fence, I would encourage you to take the plunge and get a workshop going. Fantastic. I think that brings us pretty much towards the end, which is really just a few open minutes here for conversations, for questions, for networking, and then we can kind of let you guys out early. Does anybody have anything for the good of the group, or any questions or problems or challenges with Healthy You workshops, or really with anything that they'd like to talk about with the group? Let's see who's still here and if I should pick on anyone.
Larry,
Yeah,
hey, I did go ahead and accept that room request, or they did, not me.
at Banner.
I made a
Wonderful.
banner so we're gonna go ahead and move forward, I think, but there was 2 days that they couldn't cover, so I went ahead and talked to the Agriplex, and I can have the class there on those days, and I just wondered, is that okay? Since the rest of them will all be at the same place, but
Gotcha. Yeah, so four of your six are going to be at Banner at that room that we talked about, but then they've got conflicts for two of those dates, so you want to do them at a different location?
yes.
Yeah, in general and whenever possible, we try to steer folks away from that just because it can create some confusion there for participants.
Mhm.
But it's not strictly the end of the world. Really excited to have the hospital's involvement in that. So I think it's a great venue to try to do it at. And if there are two conflicts, I think as long as we make sure that we're really clear with participants and we don't run into any issues where, you know, folks go to the hospital 3 weeks in a row and then they forget, and on that fourth session they go to the hospital when they're supposed to go to the other venue.
Yeah.
I think as long as we're just really clear with participants, and if you need help with that, calling and doing, like reminders the day before our alternate location or whatnot, I can certainly help out with that. So yeah, I would say it's in general, we try not to do that, but I don't want to steer you away from not doing the class associated with the hospital. I think it's a great opportunity. So if they're full, if they've got conflicts for two of those times, I think that's okay. Yeah, we'll just work on it together.
Okay, and then can you have two workshops going at the same time? Like in another community, I was thinking about talking to Lori after this.
I know Lori is so
Spoke
excited
with
to.
Guernsey. Yeah.
Yeah, Lori's so excited to get going, which is fantastic. Yeah, there's no rules about that. If you guys are excited and you've got the personal and work flexibilities to to do like an overlapping workshop, yeah, that's perfectly fine. I would just say, you know, as with all things in life, just be sure you're not overextending yourself. But
Yeah.
that's great, and we've seen that happen before too, where some folks they've got a foot in two communities and they're doing one workshop, and after 3 weeks, another workshop starts up just down the road, or folks that are doing overlapping like DSMP and CDSMP workshops, stuff like that happens. So yeah, if you're excited and it works for you, let's do it. That'd be fantastic.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Mhm. And Lori, were you, I know at one point you were kind of curious about, or most interested in jumping into a virtual workshop. Are you still leaning towards facilitating a virtual workshop, or are you're most excited about the Guernsey Senior Center and doing something in person?
Well, I was wanting to do both, and I'm not sure, want to get Guernsey going. The live class in Guernsey is my first priority. And then I understood that we really didn't have anything going in Lusk. And so that was where I was thinking it would be nice to offer the class virtually. It's an hour's drive for me both ways, and the roads can get nasty quick up that direction. So that's where I was leaning toward virtual for
Okay.
that community.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure thing. By and large, many of our virtual workshops have not been overly focused. They've been kind of a statewide approach to filling them,
Okay.
which has been mixed reception.
Yeah.
Some virtual workshops do work really well when they're targeted for a community like that, where we
Mhm.
wouldn't necessarily turn away somebody just because they're, the next county over. But sometimes by making it clear in the marketing and in the referral that we're really looking to do something for this community, but online because that's what's going to work best right now. Can be a great solution. So I'd be really excited to play around with that with you.
Yeah, and I kind of wondered like if their senior center has the ability, like a big enough screen that they could have a group come to their senior center and have the facilitators virtual to a live group.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I see options.
Yeah, certainly. That's something that I have loved to I've loved to wanted to try to pilot that. We are not allowed to do a hybrid workshop in the most traditional sense where
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Good to know.
yep, you can put a pin in it for a second that where like let's say a facility like one of two facilitators is in a room with two or three participants, and then some participants are online, and then another facilitator is online. We're prohibited from doing that.
Oh,
But
okay.
as strange as it sounds, as long as both of the facilitators are online without a participant right next to them, we are allowed to do that. So what you're talking
Okay.
about, like 3, 4 individuals in a conference room, at the senior center.
Mhm.
Haven't really been able to make that work or do that yet,
Okay.
but we are allowed to do that. Um,
Okay.
I think the license holder worries, and I think rightfully so, that if you put one facilitator in the room with 2 or 3 participants, and then some participants are online, and then another facilitator is online, that there's an uneven balance of time and
Yeah.
sharing there. But as long as
Yeah.
all of the participants are separate in one way or another from the online facilitators, we're totally allowed to do that. And
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Good clarification.
yeah, I know it seems a little bit like splitting hairs, but I think it is kind of important because you know how it goes too. If you're a facilitator and you've got an in-person person sitting 2 feet away from you, it's pretty hard to give that person an equal amount of attention to the person on the computer, right there. So uh,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
something to consider there. But otherwise, I think that's really fun, especially for a lot of our rural communities, where some folks might be reasonably close to the senior center, and they also might have that technology barrier of they're willing to try it, but
Mhm.
they're not really willing to try it at home on their own.
Right.
So yeah, that would be, I think something really fun to play around with. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
we'll keep in touch too, with
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at who's on the call right now. Yeah. Um, uh, what's her name? Um, Margaret. I keep wanting to say Rebecca. That's Rebecca's Rebecca and Margaret's Margaret. Margaret from St. John's Health is similarly interested in doing we're not allowed to say hybrid, so I won't say hybrid, but a hybrid workshop like you're talking about with that community too. Because
Oh, okay.
they've got yeah, her intended co-facilitator actually lives out of state and does a lot of virtual workshops for us. So they're
Mhm.
looking to do like a virtual virtual Teton area workshop for that may or may not be pseudo hybrid. So yeah, we can all learn from each other. If yours goes first, you'll probably have some good tidbits and knowledge for them. And if they go first, they can be the guinea pigs, and you and I can learn from them. So
All right. Thanks, Larry.
yeah, of course. I realize now I left my screenshot up. Sorry about that. We could have been looking at each other all this time. Um, Yeah, anything else that anyone would like to talk about, or problems, questions, success stories? Small group today, folks, which is totally fine. Summertime, as it is a tricky time for many of our participants to join workshops. I think summertime is also a really busy time for a lot of our facilitators. When the reminder for this meeting went out, I think I got an immediate 20 out of the office, responses. A lot of folks on vacation, which is fantastic. Hopefully y'all are able to regroup a little bit during this season or whatever season is your off season, and take some well-deserved time to recharge and get excited about regular work and also healthy you. If that's all, we can let you guys go. As always, I'll shoot out the recording of this and also PDFs of flyers and availability polls and all those things that we talked about today. So be on the lookout for that. And otherwise, stay in touch and love to see you at the next meeting.
Thanks, Larry.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Good to see you guys.